All right, greetings everyone. It is my greatest honor to be here today and to be able to bring your attention to some very important issues that the youth of today are facing. And specifically, I want to emphasize the experience of young girls in Georgia and how the experience in this society shapes their lives as individuals. It's a prevalent fact in society today that young girls struggle to find their place in the world. They face self-esteem issues, lack of confidence, lack of drive. According to the Mayo Clinic, women are twice as likely to be diagnosed with depression as men. Yet, there's so many programs that are focused specifically on their development, on motivating them. So, why does this happen? Well, in society, women are taught from the very beginning to hate themselves and their identities. Even before they're born, so many are aborted due to sex-selective abortions, and things don't get any better after they're born either. As soon as they're able to perceive the world around them, we force upon them gender-specific expectations, with little care as to whether they fit them or not. And when their personality starts to shine through as they grow up, and it doesn't fit our expectations, we berate them. Even in kindergarten, teachers and adults, we mock them cynically, and we bully them. So do their peers as they repeat the behavior of the adults around them. We call them names, all because they don't fit the stereotype that we've provided for them. They grow up hating their bodies, their femininity, the thing that is reminiscent of why they can't be themselves, why they can't express themselves the way they want to. And as they grow and start looking for that place to take up, they see nothing but constant reminders of why they should hate the way they were born. They start looking for higher education, and they're cynically told that they're ripe for marriage and that education is more important for boys anyway. As they find a job, they find out that they earn 39% less than their male counterparts and that they have little to no chance of breaking the glass ceiling. They get married and are told to be stay-at-home moms whether they like it or not, and to endure abuse from their husbands and their relatives with nowhere to turn. And if they do speak up about it, they get judged for it for airing out the family business. And if they struggle with that, that's their own fault. If a young woman decides to speak up about the way that she's demonized in society, the way that she's made to hate herself, she gets judged even more, and this happens by other women around her. So why? We talk constantly about women's rights, women's equality. We write it in laws in every single paper we can think of, yet nothing seems to change. Why is that? Well, there's a reason. We're tackling the symptoms of rampant misogyny in society, but we're not looking at the cause of it. We trim the weeds, but the roots are still there and they keep growing and growing over time. The root cause here is a lack of education in society, and it's a problem that needs to be tackled very vigorously. Education of all, especially the youth, through lectures, seminars, lessons, training sessions, events in school, all dedicated to teaching the youth about human rights and women's rights especially. What are the resources that young girls can turn to if their rights are violated? What do they do? Where do they go? What if they can't leave their house because they have nowhere to go? Do they simply stay until they're killed and then cascaded on the news? No, there's so many resources out there, so many, but only very few select number of people have any access to them or any information about them, and that needs to change. So the first step is information about the rights that women do have and the value they do hold, and secondly, what they can do if that gets violated. Now, men often tend to overlook gender-based topics because they think it doesn't affect them, but this isn't true. Men are as forced into gender-specific roles as women are, and thus it's just as damaging for them. We need to teach young boys and girls to stand together, because this is not just a fight for women. This is a right for humanity's rights as a whole. We always say that we're all one, and this shouldn't change when we share painful experiences. The same way we share successes, we must share our losses as well. The issue of women's rights or lack thereof goes much deeper than just obstacles in career or microaggressions in daily life. It is an issue which plagues the entirety of one's existence and becomes the root of an individual's many painful experiences. It's a complex one to fix, but we have to start somewhere, and there's no better place than education, because an educated youth will bring about well-planned and educated changes, which will cause a positive ripple effect. Starting is usually the difficult part, but once we do, I believe things will start to fall into place. Thank you for listening.